Geeks. This is the officially unofficial geek channel here on YouTube, and this is your weekly comic roundup, and I am your host, Harley Quinn, and as you can see by my appearance, my makeup has been inspired by my two favorite comics of the week. We'll get to those in a bit. Wow, we have a lot of comics. Okay, so look at this stack, and I'm seeing everyone is having this problem on other channels as well that do reviews. There's a lot here. In fact, frankly, I am pretty thrilled with myself that I got through all these in the time that I did. Last couple weeks, my reviews have been a little bit late, not because of how much I had to read, but because of life. So I'm making sure to get this done kind of early, actually. Normally I do this on Saturdays, but today is Friday at 8:45 p.m. and I'll have this up before I go to bed tonight. So rock on, Harley Quinn. Yeah. Okay, anyways, so let's go ahead and get started. As always, I do these kind of in my order of enjoyment, meaning my favorite comics are going to be talked about at the end. And believe me, I really love my comic of the week. Holy shit, that was great. It was so complex. I was sitting there, and those of you that don't know this, sometimes if you see me look at another part of the screens, because I actually take notes on these comics as I read them. So I have notes to make sure that I can get to you guys like the best information possible. As always, please remember, we are talking about comic books here. We are talking with some spoilers. I try to leave the huge things out. Sometimes I get excited and all that, and so I do make sure to mark these as spoiler-rific or spoiler light or what have you, depending on how far I go into everything. You know what? It's Friday. I think a lot of people that are cruising YouTube for their reviews have probably read their books by now, and they're just kind of curious what other people think of them. But like I said, I will be keeping it to as much of a minimum as I can with the spoilers. I just want you guys to enjoy the books, and I want you to enjoy the videos. So if you enjoy the videos, do all the normal things when you're done watching this, or do it now. I don't care when you do it. Whenever it strikes your fancy. Maybe like 5 minutes into this video. I mean, we're at 3 minutes now. So whenever it strikes your fancy, subscribe, comment. I want to know what you guys think as well. Just as well as you're here listening to me find out what I think the comics this week. But so like, subscribe, comment, please do all those YouTube-y things, and maybe someday we can make this a big thing here. I would love to do this for a living, but that's another video another day. Anyways, yes, and be sure to check out our Facebook, my TikTok, which I haven't posted to in a while, and my Twitter also, and I'll leave that information down in the description, as well as a list of all the comics that I'm talking about here on the show today. This is Comics for the week of 6/21. I hope you enjoy it. We've got a little bit of a variety here, just a little teensy bit of a variety. Guys, there is at least one comic here that is not from DC. Holy shit. And we'll get into that now. So, the first book I'm going to talk about, this was highly anticipated book, not only by my household, but also a lot of the public out there. I see a lot of people listing this as their favorite. Unfortunately, it was a miss with me. It is Garth Ennis's Batman Reptilian, or otherwise known as Batman's having a really awful week, guys. So I didn't quite get what was going on here. And I don't get what's really going on with this quite yet. When you have a title that calls itself Batman Reptilian, and the most that you see of the reptilian kind of thing is some shadowy claws here and there. You're wondering, one, Batman looks completely normal, so is he the reptile, or is there something else going on? Um, the story seemed kind of choppy to me, and I wasn't sure where it was going. And what's the deal with Bruce? He's really kind of like oddly cruel. He's kind of a shitbag. I mean, you know what? There's a part of Batman that's kind of shitty, but there's a part of Batman that's actually that he doesn't go as far as he normally does in this. Garth Ennis, if I'm understanding correctly, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, is known for his dislike of the Batman Rogue Gallery, and it shows in this storyline where you've got somebody's nicking the Rogue Gallery one by one, and nobody quite knows what's going on. The art style, okay, so here's the deal with the art style. By Liam Sharp. Okay, so the art style, that shit was beautiful for me to put on my wall. Do you get what I'm saying? If somebody had prints of this and was like, hey, check out these prints, I'd be like, that is some beautiful shit. Let me put that in a frame, put that shit on my wall. Now, that being said, the story was not helped by it. It made things kind of unclear. I don't know. I'm gonna need some more clear answers next month. I'm gonna give this another shot. It's one of those things where it's Black Label. It's a limited release. So I'm giving it another shot. You know what, guys, I'm all down for the dark and edgy here, obviously. But it's gotta make sense. To the point where it's gotta be edgy to the point where it also makes sense, and this wasn't making sense for me yet. There needs to be a little bit more of a reveal, especially in a limited edition story like this. We didn't have much of any clue as to what's going on in this first issue. Maybe they will rectify that next month. So we'll look into it. I mean, I'm gonna give it another shot. Like I said, that art was fantastic. Just really wasn't giving me much here. And I'm sorry about it, you know. I wanted to, with all the hype behind it, I wanted it to be huge for me, and it just wasn't. So, but anyways, moving on. Next I'm going to talk to you about Justice League number 63. Black Adam and Naomi accused. Accused by who? Yeah, gotta love that. Gotta love that nice little fake out on the cover. But here we have that classic feeling where everyone seems to be harder on themselves than everyone else around them. That's definitely happening with Naomi. Kind of, Black Adam's kind of pensive here, and kind of like in his own mind, you can tell. If Adam and Naomi stand accused, they're accusing themselves. We get that conclusion. We get the conclusion of the battle started in the previous issue, kind of presented as a flashback. Obviously, they're back at the hall, and they are dealing with everything that's, you know, they think is coming and what they're dealing with. And like I said, the battle gets presented as a flashback. Superman, again, lays it out there for Adam to join the League. And Adam wants and vows to Hippolyta, who comes upon them, that he wants to be better, but you know, I was reading this, and it doesn't actually look like he officially accepts the position on the League yet. So we'll see what happens with that. It seems like he's at least really kind of like almost there with that. So we see that Zimbardo is taking over Brutus's efforts to invade and take over Earth. So you have a little bit there involving that, and So Naomi, who really is kind of bent a little bit on revenge, is going to get another shot at him, it looks like. And this is also something that is kind of talked to her about when they're offering her a position on the league as well, which she does seem to accept. Um, it's really good. I'm going to be continuing with that. It's a great story. I kind of like it. I kind of like the additions to the league, especially when it involves someone like Black Adam, who obviously was somebody that was not on that side of the league for such an amount of time. Had to take a break for a drink, and now we're going to move on to the next issue we're going to talk about, and that is the very adorable Teen Titans Academy 4. Okay, so here we've got the Brat Pack is on the case. Okay, it would seem we last saw the development of the Bat Pack in the last issue, and that was the issue that this is the issue here that they're trying to solve. Who is Red X? So they're the Bat Pack, and they're going to do detective work to figure out who is Red X. And so they've got all these different possibilities. They've got like a board where they're like got pictures up and like notes and everything like that. It's really cool. So they interview witnesses and sleuth around looking for clues. The narration is really kind of cute because it's very it's like a kid pretending that they're a film noir detective. It's really kind of cute. It's very film noir, but kind of slapsticky as well. After the Bat Pack gets in trouble and gets a bit of a stern warning from Donna Troy to stop because they could get hurt by someone like Red X if they happen to come across him, they stumble onto a big development, and we'll have to see that next issue. Like, they literally stumble onto like, open the door and there's something there. So we'll have to see what happens in the next issue. That'll be interesting. So the next one that we're going to talk about is Batman Detective Comics. Let me see here. Let me get to my notes here. Here is Batman Detective Comics. Okay, so here's the deal. I don't have a lot of notes involving this one. It's really hard to talk about this one and not give a lot away because there's a lot of action that builds up in this issue. So Bruce Wayne, Batman, is on the lam. Huntress is helping him out with that, giving him a place to crash, to hide. Mr. Worth is, of course, still a fucking psycho and just keeps blowing shit up. And Deb, our wonderful reporter Deb, is caught up in all of this. Please help Deb. I fell in love with Deb. In the last Detective Comics issue, please help her, save her, please. So there's a secondary story that I did actually read, and it's a Penguin story, and it was pretty fucking cool. And I can't wait to see this story develop because there was a little bit of a cliffhanger at the end of everything, both the main story and the Penguin story. So the next issue I'm going to talk about, so we had a couple issues that had we had a couple books that actually came out twice this month. So Detective Comics was one of them, and the other one is one I'm going to talk about next. So Wonder Woman. Okay, so Wonder Woman, when we last saw her, Wonder Woman was leaving Asgard to go to Olympus. Now, what I thought was going to be the end of an arc, a story arc, actually continues because the rest of the story arc was called the Afterworlds, and this is also Afterworlds as well. She's brought to Olympus. Something's fishy in Olympus, and the fish is pretty Cajun cooked right now because Olympus is pretty fucked up, and all the gods are dead except for one. And Janus, a motherfucking Roman god, is in Olympus. So this wasn't a mistake on the writer's part. It was actually a deliberate part of the story. They did make mention that it was a Roman god in Olympus. So this wasn't a mistake, that it was actually a deliberate part of the story. We find out that Diana's placement in Asgard was not a mistake, that she was actually there because Olympus, where she should have gone, was full. It was full, because Janus split in two. Now, somebody took her spot, and that was the split into Janus to prevent her from coming to Olympus, because somebody, one of the parts of Janus saw something and thought it was going to be a bad thing, and unfortunately, yeah, so somebody takes Diana's place in Olympus because they think it's going to be bad if she comes there. Unfortunately, when they split, they look a shit ton like her, and they started killing all the gods. Just all the gods. They started killing all the gods, setting fires on stuff, like smashing shit up. So Wonder Woman goes and uses this pool, the scene pool, and she consults with Dead Man, her friend Boston, and he's like, dude, like, we can look into this, but it's risky. So they go somewhere pretty wild, and I'm not going to tell you because you should read the book. But I am definitely a fan of Diana, Wonder Woman, kind of like bumping around through the afterlife, different worlds of the afterlife. I'm just still wondering right now if this is going to have anything connected with the story of Wonder Girl, because there's a little bit in there that's kind of like, could it be meaning that, or could it be meaning what they're saying? Could it be talking about Wonder Girl? I'm just kind of curious to see if they're going to tie Wonder Girl with what's happening in Olympus. So we're going to move on now. We're going to move on to Infinite Frontier 1. Yes. So here we are being introduced to different parts of the multiverse. And Barry Allen has finally found out what happened to the Quintessence after Wonder Woman left them way back in Infinite Frontier number 0. I say way back because even though this is Infinite Frontier 1, because we've had some time, and we've introduced different stories from within the Infinite Frontier. We've been introduced to these stories from within the Infinite Frontier universe with DC, and now we're kind of like branching out here. So it's been a few months. So we have Infinite Frontier 1, where basically, like I said, Barry Allen has shown up on, I believe they call it Earth Omega, and has found out what has happened to the Quintessence after Wonder Woman left them. And oh crap. Okay, so he understands what's going on there. A bunch of stuff happens involving that. Not good. And another thing, Roy Harper, finally, folks. Roy Harper has finally joined us again. But I'm not sure we should have clapped yet because, okay, so, all right, okay, everyone, DC needs to straighten out Roy, like, soon, because the boy had been through a lot, okay? The boy was, okay, first off, he was a superhero, right? I mean, he was Arsenal, right? So the boy became an addict, it happens, right? Because of the pressures of being a hero, became an addict, then died at Sanctuary, okay? Then Wonder Woman, the whole death metal saga thing happened, rebooted the multiverse, and then whoops, he's alive again, only to become, well, spoilers. Spoilers! Okay, so, yeah, DC, can if you see this, please straighten out poor Roy. Please help Roy Harper. That'd be great. Thank you. Yeah, but read the book because you gotta believe. If you don't know what happened, you gotta see it to believe it. Because wow, I didn't actually think that was going to happen to Roy Harper. I've been sitting here ever since I read Infinite Frontier Zero, thinking, where's Roy? What's going to happen with Roy? Oh my God, when are we going to see Roy? When are we going to see that whole like reunion with him and Green Arrow, and it would be beautiful, and like, oh, Roy, you're alive after all. Only to get this. Spoilers. I'm not going to give away that spoiler because it is pretty big. Um, Look at the book. Read it. If you haven't already, read it, because I gotta tell you something. They need to straighten out Roy a little bit. Poor Roy. Oh gosh. Poor Roy Harper. Oh, come on, DC, do us a solid. Do us a solid and help Roy out. Um, it's because of you he's in this mess. Anywho, so moving right along, guys. We're gonna talk next about. Let me find my notes on it. Robin 3. Holy shit, this was a good one too. Robin continues to bust out the badass shit every month. It's always up there as one of my favorites. I didn't have a lot of stuff that I hated this week. Obviously, it was mostly Batman Reptilian, but I am optimistic about that one. Anyways, Robin. Wow. Okay. Connor Hawk, Damian Wayne. Pretty awesome cover. This is the cover A, so it's still a pretty awesome cover. Let me tell you something. Like, I know I'm kind of just joining into this and kind of doing a lot of like homework, and I've done a lot. When I get really into things, I dive in and I do a lot of research and everything like that. And what I have found out is that people don't really like Robin. They don't really like Damian Wayne. But what I have been finding out is that people are beginning to warm up to him. He is a cocky little bastard, and I'm here for it. Because he's also kind of badass. I mean, you got to think about it. You know, if somebody's going to be a cocky little bastard, it's got to be the person that is the grandson of Raja Ghul, the daughter, or excuse me, the son of Batman and Talia al Ghul. Like, if somebody's gonna, and the thing is he lives up to it as well. He is pretty badass, though. We have to actually just kind of like the kid does need to be taken down a few notches, because the cocky bastard that he is, he ends up getting himself in trouble all the time, and this was no exception. Holy Mirage action Batman. How the fuck did that ending happen, everyone? Anyways, we have Robin, almost successful in his lesson of having fun. Poor guy. Okay, so until even the killers have their stories of slight hero worship of Batman. So basically he's there, he's kind of, impressing everyone, trying to have fun, and then all of a sudden it's like, you're the son of the Bat. Oh my God, Bat this, Bat that. Oh my God, Batman. Oh, he almost killed me. He almost took my eye out. Oh, ha, ha. So Damian's like, oh, Jesus Christ, I'm just gonna walk away from this. Because he just wanted to be there himself, and unfortunately, he's still stuck, under the cape of his father. So Robin sets off by himself and is actually having fun when he comes across Connor, and they're relating to each other about having hero dads. Connor Hawk, of course, is the son of Green Arrow. So then other people's issues show up and have to step in and fuck that up because they were actually having fun and laughing. Um, this ends with a big cliffhanger and someone shows up, and I'm not exactly how to take that, but it looks fun, and I can't wait to see where this goes. But yeah, did anyone think that it was going to be as weird as it was going to be weird as fuck to have all these killers like and fighters like hero worshipping Batman? Like, did anyone else think that was weird? Because I did. I did. I thought it was funny that all these people that are like supposedly bad, you know, and killers and all that, like they're all like Batman, yeah. It was kind of weird. It was weird. We can say it. We can say it. It was weird. Okay. So the next thing I'm going to talk to you guys about, let me tell you something. There were definitely a couple comics that were kind of giving me the feels a little bit. One of them we will talk about right now is Action Comics. Action. Do, 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 do. Okay, so Action Comics 1032. Oh my goodness. So, wow, okay. So everybody is scrabbling over this dangerous fragment and what's Superman going to do about it. So it seems like the person that seems to have the most understanding of what's going on, and mind you, that isn't much, is Superman. But yet he is being ignored by Steve Trevor and Aquaman's Big Balls contest. Yeah. Um, Superman sees the urgency but is unaware of the danger. But Superman sees the urgency but is aware. Excuse me, he is aware of the danger moving forward and the way he thinks it should go and what should happen. Um, which this is the War Worlds issue. You have some interaction between him and the seemingly Kryptonian person that they found and they've been treating. And that's kind of weird, and he's not sure what to think of that. And he realizes that some of this stuff may very well be a trap for him, but he's like, what if it's not a trap? And what if there's like a lot of people out there kind of like me that need my help? And so he's also dealing with that as well. And I have read previews as to what is going to go down in the next few issues. So I am interested to see where this goes. I'm not going to talk about it here because we haven't seen it yet. And a lot, things can happen. Things can change between now and then. But, I mean, things can change between now and then. I mean, I just read that Batman Catwoman is being postponed for a number of months. So if you didn't hear that, you heard it here first. Batman Catwoman postponed for a few months. I was reading about that, but there's not a lot of information on exactly why. But yeah, I mean, there is speculation on what's going on. It's all very kind of sad and stuff. So, I can't really blame them for wanting to put a hold on it, considering, you know, the artist, the artist just died. The artist that has been working on some of the Batman Catwoman, he just died. So, probably have to it'd probably be nice like to just kind of like lay low with it. And that's one of the speculations that was happening. So, but the next one I'm going to be talking to you guys about this week is Here's My Feels book. Superman, number 32. It's the feels book. It's hard to say a lot about this because saying what I want to say about it, um, pretty much. I'm sorry, my cat made noise. I had to look at him. He's never seen me in full goth here, so he's a little bit weirded out by me right now. Anyways, Superman. All right. This book is continuing the Shadow Breed story with beautiful flourish and sentimentality that just grips the reader being me, okay? This continues that whole narration that's kind of like a father passing the mantle and the future to his son. And it's done by telling the reader this story where John, it just wasn't where John just wasn't just the son of Superman, but something special and unique to Superman. So I think that kind of just puts it in perspective without giving too much away. There's something about John that's different. There's something about John that's right on the money also. So it's really beautiful. The beautiful sentimentality of, it seems like, Superman is writing a letter to his son, or maybe like doing like a recording or what have you, talking about like how he knew his son was ready for the big guns. And it's really quite wonderful and sentimental, and I've been really enjoying this run of Superman. So now you guys have been waiting for it. I had two more comics left. And y'all know what came out last week. Y'all know what came out this past week. So, when am I going to talk about it? I love my Harley. I love my Harley girl. Harley Quinn, number 4. Yay! Okay. I do have notes on this. Hopefully I don't look at them too much here. All right. Um, there comes a time and there comes a time where a woman's got to say, I don't give a shit about weird artwork, and this shit is a good story, okay? And that was my time. I know that I'm still a little bit iffy about the art style, but it's a good story. So, sorry about that choppiness, guys. I had someone knock on my door, and I had to answer it real quick. Okay, so we were talking about Harley Quinn. So yeah, I'm still getting over the artwork, but it's a good story. So I'm overlooking the artwork and the way it's drawn. I get that comics. A lot of it is animation and comics. A lot of it rests on the art, but the story of a woman trying to find where she fits in into a new world, a new thinking that she's carving out for herself is something I think we can all relate to. Harley Quinn is not Batman. She's Harley fucking Quinn, and she's getting her Kevin back. Um, look, look. Okay, so Harley is the hero that knows and relates to Gotham, I think, way more the way no one in the Bat family does, that puts her at an advantage. So there are some cute moments here involving Solomon Grundy playing chess with her. Spoiler, he beats her. Just as the last moment, he beats her before she runs off to go get her Kevin back. And there's some really cute moments where Harley really does herself up to go and get Kevin back. If you recall, Kevin is her friend that used to be a henchman for Joker during the Joker War, and he wants to reform, and he was working with Harley to work with people to reform and do like a support group. Yeah. Um, and he got caught by Hugo Strange. So he's doing stuff with Hugo Strange right now, and it stinks. And she's gonna go get him back, and she does herself up, and it's really cool how she it's funny because she's like, I'm gonna be the hero now, and I'm gonna get him back, and she like she has a cape, except it's like kind of like a blanket tied around her neck. It has, oh my god, it's so funny, and she's got like this like thing that makes her like look like if she's in a shadow, makes her look like she's got bad ears. Somehow she got a hold of a Batarang, not a Batarang, excuse me, like one of the repelling cables. Somehow she got a hold of one of those. And there's problems involving her using that. She almost plummets from a building. When she's doing that whole standing on a rooftop, on the rooftop edge over Gotham. She's just like, yeah, I'm gonna go get my, now how do I do this? And it's this, um, I love how she is so like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be the hero, I'm gonna get Kevin back, and then it's hilarity ensues. I love Harley. I love her for her personality. I love it for the storyline. Um, it is not my comic of the week, though close. I have one more to talk to you guys about. It's a doozy. It's a doozy. It's kind of a longer one. Um, but Harley Quinn, it's going to take a lot more than silly looking art to take me away from my Harley. So, it's going to take me a lot more. It's gonna take a lot more, like a lot more. Considering I loved her when she was a villain. Oh well. Okay, guys. So here's the deal. We have comic of the week, and yeah, I had to bring up my notes because this one is so vast, and there's a lot of stuff going on in it. And so I was taking notes while reading it. Like, I would get to a certain point, I'd be like, okay, I need to note this. So my notes may be a little bit choppy. I'm going to try my best here. The comic of the week here, and I said that there was one comic that was not DC. So, um, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Okay, so I want to preface this by talking about Image Comics for a moment. Okay, so, and I know I'm kind of getting off on subject, but it's important to talk about. Earlier this week, the news came out that Image Comics was going to be working with the artists and writers of a comic book to finish the series called Fell. Now, why is this important? Well, Fell was written by Warren Ellis. Warren Ellis, why is this important? Well, Warren Ellis has been a celebrated comic book writer for many years, and also by the accounts of a number of women on a website, is a particular brand of shit. Um, so I'm gonna actually sit here and talk about this now, because I am going to be talking about an Image comic. I'm not going to be talking about one written by Warren Ellis, because I've already said definitely I will not be buying this comic when it comes out. And this was earlier this week. And there are so many stories of women on this site. They developed this website that documents anywhere from, I read anywhere from 60 to 100 instances, multiple women, of harassment, sexual harassment, and or I think even some, grabsy stuff, like some physical things committed, allegations made against Warren Ellis. Now, this came out, I think, around a year ago, and the goal of these people banding together and doing this, they specifically mentioned that they did not want to cancel Warren Ellis. They were like, you know what we want to do is we want him to contact us, and we want him to learn from this. We want him to grow from it. We want him to correct his mistakes. We want him to atone. We don't want him canceled. Which, the thing is in this society right now where there is a cancel, culture that happens. I'm not saying I'm against it. In fact, in a lot of circumstances, I do agree with it to a point. But I think that when you have a list of people banding together for a common purpose, and all of them are in on it, and that's what they're wanting, they're not wanting to cancel him. They're wanting to work with him and to prevent it from happening again. Instead of being like, okay, so let's go ahead and do this. You know what? I can admit to who I am and take care of this. And this is around a year ago, okay, that this stuff started coming out. I believe it was like a year and a half ago, something like that. I might be a little bit fuzzy on the details of exactly how long it's been. If you ask me, somebody not coming out after a couple days and issuing a statement or trying to atone for things like this is too long. So he didn't do anything. They gave him a very specific path. An olive branch, he did not accept it. He didn't do anything. So then fast forward to earlier this week when the news broke about the Fell comic that was going to go back into production with Image Comics. Now, when I heard this, I was a little bit perplexed in the idea that I had heard about this, and I known that this had gone on like some time ago, and I was like, okay, so what is Image doing? Why are they getting involved with this? Now, what I can say is I had made a promise to my viewers and my public via my Facebook, via Instagram, via Twitter, that I would not buy this comic when it came out. And this was earlier this week. Well, apparently, I think it was today, Image came out and said that in response to the recent uproar in regards to Warren Ellis, that they would not be working with him as well. I had heard that Warren Ellis had finally made a statement at the time of this recording. I had not looked into it yet. Hopefully he finds the strength to do something to make this right for the people that deserve it. So, I will tell you right now, again, I will stress that if this comic comes up with another company, I will not be reading it. I will not be buying it. I don't care. But anyways, I do want to state that Image did come forward and said that they would not be working with this person. So they're all right in my book. Regardless of this, I was very excited about an issue this week. Because as getting back to the comics here that I am actually talking about this week, now that I've talked your ear off about how sucky Warren Ellis is, and it sucks too, because he's done a lot of like really big stuff. But anyways, so it's an Image comic that I'm talking about here. When I was younger, my family had HBO, and my brother, who was very into comics, and specifically into a little comic, Image comic, written by Todd McFarlane, Spawn. And when the cartoon came out, I was very in. I ended up watching it, and I ended up liking it. Actually, the movie that came out, the live action movie that came out, I ended up watching that. I ended up liking that very much. Um, oh my god, my cat is in the background. It's so funny. Look at that. That's my cat. Well, it's one of them. It's one of the two. The other one, I doubt you would see. Can you not do that right now? Can you not do that right now? No. Can you not do that? We're just gonna have to deal with that. Because I'm not stopping again. Um, River, can you not do that while mommy's recording? Thank you. You're a good boy. I love you, baby boy. Yes. I love my kitties. Uh, so we're of course talking about the major release this week. This is the comic of the week, Spawn Universe 1. Look at this beauty right here. Holy shit, Mr. McFarlane, comic of the week. Like I said, I grew up watching HBO, and regrettably, this is my first Spawn comic book that I have gotten myself. But what a start for me it was. Now, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're saying. Carrie, why not the Tom McFarlane cover? Well, that's the easy question to answer, and the answer is my normal comic book shop did not have any more of the Todd McFarlane cover when I got to buy it. Now, I know, I know this is what Neil at Clyde's Comics here on Broadway in Rockford would say to me, where I normally get my comics, my local comic book shop. He would tell me, well, gee, Carrie, if you had subscribed to the books and all that ahead of time, you would probably had gotten a better chance of getting the covers that you want. And he is right. He's right. But fear not, my comic book friends, because in steps myself, Instant Messenger, and my brother David. Shout out to David, my brother, my big brother, because I was like, you know what, maybe he hasn't gotten this yet. I'll message him. So I messaged my big brother David, and I said, David, have you gotten your Spawn book yet? And do you know, if you haven't gotten your Spawn book yet, would you be able to, check out and see if they have cover F for me and snag it for me? It's the Todd McFarlane cover. And he's like, you know what? I already got my books, but you know what? The store that I go to is nearby my work. I will stop right after I leave work. That store, shout out to Acme Comics of Peoria, Illinois, where my brother goes quite frequently. Thank you. He snagged the McFarlane Spawn cover for me from you guys, and I appreciate it. And again, I also definitely appreciate my usual shop, Clyde's Comics and Fantasy, here on Broadway in Rockford. Neil is fantastic. And anywho, the story that the lesson that we need to learn here, kids, is subscribe to your local comic book shop, and you get a better chance of getting what you want. So, anywho, so I do have, not in my possession yet, but I do have a McFarlane cover, bagged and boarded, sitting with my brother right now. But this cover is pretty fucking awesome as well. So the lesson we learn here is subscribe to your local comic book shop, kids. Anywho, so heaven and hell collide in this, and we are informed of the empty seat on the throne of hell, and everybody, it's highly sought after. A bit of a content warning for you all. A kitty gets killed near the beginning of the book. And because I'm a cat mom, obviously, you saw one of them. Because I'm a cat mom, it almost turned me off to keep reading. But I'm glad I kept chugging away because this is a hell of a book here. Let me tell you, there's a reason why Mr. McFarlane is considered brilliance incarnate. So this large story was kind of like broken up into a number of parts. So it's basically one of those things that's kind of looking forward to the spin-offs of Spawn that's going to be creating the Spawn universe. So it's not just a clever name. So in the beginning, you have some thugs taking Coglistro. I'm going to totally pronounce that wrong, and I'm so sorry. It's been a while. Coglistro, after killing his kitty, fucking bastards. Kitty tried to jack up like one of their faces beforehand, so at least the kitty, you know, rest in peace. So they're talking they're taking him to deal with Omega Coglistro. Spawn, the anti-hero deluxe, the anti-hero in red and black, collects his buddy Cygor and himself and goes looking for answers as to what's going on in the world with some atmospheric, not atmospheric, but like ground disturbances and that kind of thing, and like different things that are happening in the city and everything like that. So he's going off to investigate that. So he goes off with Cygor. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly as well. His gorilla friend, and goes looking for answers. And he gets thrown in a cell with Coglistro and Gunslinger Spawn. This is quite the interesting scene here. Coggy there decides it's time to rebuild himself, and so he arranges alone time to do so, and the two Spawns end up, whom clearly do not have any social skills whatsoever, fight their way free. Like literally, they don't have social skills whatsoever. But I think that's the point. So all joking aside, that story's got to continue later. There's a to be continued on there, and we are treated next to a story of medieval Spawn. Oh wow! And medieval Spawn, there be dragons. At least one dragon. Here we get some history. And a sorcerer on top of a freaking dragon. Okay, it's a dragon in my comic book. Woo! I love dragons. Talking about how he works with Coglistro, but maybe there's just something else, like it's a legend or a story, because it seems like it's all a dream. But yet it happened, but it's all a dream. It's a little bit fuzzy there, but kind of really coolly written and drawn. So it's like, what's going on here? It's in kind of contrast to the fogginess that we got with Batman Reptilian, and it's not really foggy, but it's foggy, but it's like a good kind of foggy. Anyways, so let's look at the notes here. We now have the next story, and there's a she-spawn, kind of an origin story. She's going through a park. It's before she turns into she-spawn. It's very touching, very, very sad. Her name is Jessica Priest. It's an origin story, and we're going to be seeing more of her, obviously, later on. Then we get treated to a story of Gunslinger Spawn. So it's more of another origin story of the Gunslinger Spawn that we saw in the first story with Spawn. and it's really cool. It's an origin story. It shows the start, and he has a wolf pack. That's kind of cool. So now this is basically, like I said, it is kind of starting things out for the Spawn spin-offs in Spawn universe. You have something at the end of the issue, a letter from Todd McFarlane talking about this, and then you have a little bit of a preview called The Year of Spawn. And so you can see this here, kind of like you have King Spawn coming out in August. You have Gunslinger Spawn 1 coming out in October, and something called The Scorched on sale in December. So lots of stuff coming up involving Spawn. It's kind of expanding their universe, and it looks freaking awesome, and can't wait. That's going to be some good stuff. So I'm going to get this back in there. Okay, so that's the comics for this week. Comic of the week, Spawn Universe 1. Fucking fantastic. I mean, we had a lot of really great stuff this week, and next week we're going to have a bunch of annuals, and we have Infinite Frontier Secret Files 1, so that's going to be fun to see what we can see on that one and get more information about what's going on in the DC world as it is right now. So we have a few annuals coming out. That's going to be exciting. The 80th anniversary of One Green Arrow is coming out. So that's really cool too. And yeah, so that's a lot of fun stuff to look forward to. And looking forward to July, we've got a couple books that, like this month, are going to be coming out twice. We've got some newer stuff coming out. We've got stuff that kind of complements other books coming out right now that have been coming out. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a fun month coming up. Wow, some awesome stuff coming up in August. So wow, man, just keeps on coming, and now I'm newly definitely into this, and I am here for this shit. Okay. I get excited. When I get really into something for the first time, I get really excited and I get really into it. And wow. So whew. Yeah. Anyways. Okay, so that's comics for this week, guys. This wow, go to your local comic book shop. Subscribe at your local comic book shop. It helps them out, helps them figure out exactly what they need to get for you, and helps them keep you coming back and reading and reading and reading, and read whenever you can, geek out whenever you can, get into things. Obviously, we've got other videos that are going to be coming up, and we are going to be doing another main event video coming out soon. We're going to be doing another review video for Monday Reviews, which is basically going to be reviews that are not comics. Well, not floppy issues of comics. I did do a trade review last week. So anything that happens, it's not comics. So you got TV, you got movies, so you got music, you know, anything can be reviewed on Review Mondays, just not floppy issue comics. So yeah, that's it for me for this week's comic roundup for the week of 6/21/21. I'm like kind of pumped up. Like, just finished Spawn Universe 1 and it was so fucking awesome. Pumped up. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So this has been the Officially Unofficial Geek channel here on YouTube. Please like, subscribe, comment, tell me what you thought of the comics this week. Tell me what you thought specifically of Spawn. Are you excited about the new stories that are going to be coming out for Spawn? Yeah. So yeah, this has been the Officially Unofficial Geek channel here on YouTube. I am your host, as always, here for you to geek out on a regular. Carrie Quinn, please be kind to each other, buy small, go to your local comic book shop, subscribe, and yeah, see ya soon. Bye.